It's Daybreak on the Rise News, and it's time for the press preview. First look at what's on the front pages as they arrive. We start with this day. Zulum, we must defeat Iswap at all costs, else Boko Haram will be child's play. And that's the governor of the northeastern Borno state speaking. And the 2023 PDP yet to take a decision on zoning presidency. Wardo insists, that's on page 40. ECOWAS to deploy stabilization force in countries under threat of military takeover. And a major setback for oil production. Shell differs expansion work on 225,000 barrels per day Bonga oil field.
And the Punch newspaper this morning, the leading headline: PDP CSOs lamp on federal government as NFIU uncovers 96 terrorism financiers, 123 firms, 33 Bureau de change operators linked to terrorists, the federal government alleges. Also, terror financier supporters will be revealed in court, says the AGF's office. More headlines on the Punch newspaper with the leading picture there from Kwara State as Kwara Baptist School is shut as fresh crises erupt over hijab. And above the nameplate of the Punch this morning, workers' fate unknown as explosion rocks Delta oil platform.
Well, here's the front page of The Nation this morning. Leading with Buhari rebuffs lobby to shift APC convention date. A rider for that story: no venue in party's notification letter to the electoral body INEC. State chairman inaugurated.
The Guardian newspaper. 1 year after NIN SIM policy, insecurity scams fester. CNN's ethical challenge that brought down its president. That sucker on the front page. APC inaugurates 34 state chairmen as Buni stays away. Boko Haram may be child's play to Iswap. The governor of Borno State warns the federal government. And Amechi Malami sued over alleged illegal award of 91 billion naira rail contract to Chinese firm.
The Nation newspaper this morning, President Buhari rebuffs lobby to shift APC convention date. No venue in party's notification letter to INEC. Also, Zulum warns on Iswap threats to Nigeria. Above the nameplate of The Nation this morning, hijab row resurfaces in Kwara State, and that's on page 2.
Well, let's go to the international papers now. The Prime Minister's leadership is in deep crisis after the resignation of 4 top aides yesterday. Their headline: clear out at number 10 as PM's 4 top aides quit.
Okay, from the Independent, we go now to the Daily Express. The Daily Express, tighten your belt, Britain in grip of biggest squeeze ever.
And the Daily Mail also leading with the meltdown in Downing Street says, will the last one to leave please turn out the lights? This comes as 4 of Boris Johnson's closest aides have resigned.
Well, let's bring in Emmanuel Bello for the press review this morning for his analysis. Emmanuel Bello, thank God it's Friday and thank God you're here. Morning.
Good morning. Yeah, thank God it's Friday.
Yes. When you look at the front page of the newspaper of records in Nigeria, our sister publication this day, from comments from the governor of Borno State yesterday, Babangida Zulum, if you were to capture that, I think perhaps a stitch in time saves 9 is basically what he's saying. He says we must tackle the problem now.
Yes, and he went beyond that to also actually, Professor Zulum to be very professorial in his dissertation there, in his presentation, also giving clear-cut ways to do this. He's not just he's not just identifying a problem and talking about how serious that problem is. He's also proffering solutions, saying, look, you need to strengthen on the military, you need to collaborate. And he said something very, very profound. He said, look, ask for external help if need be. It's not strange. We've reached that point now. This is the first time I think that a bold, call is made that we need help from outside. And he's saying that, look, this has happened even in superpowers like the so-called superpowers, the US, Britain, and the rest, they've actually used mercenaries in fighting off their crisis. So it's making that kind of bold move, and also clarifying some issues around the exaggerations you have in the media, saying that those two local governments in the states are not under any kind of control, but they are uninhabited, which is almost the same kind of a thing. Nobody is there. So it's asking that conditions should be made for people to go. So it's a very important story, and no other place to say this than the villa itself, where he went to see the president. And he has nice words for the president. Funny enough, he said, look, the president has helped him and helped in the situation, and that he's had access to the president anytime. That access really helped him, according to Zulum. But the meat of that story is the sort of solution he is proffering. And those are solutions that have always been in the public domain. He talked about recruitment. He said he has, he practically taught the military the recruitment process, which is very important, need to be checked. A situation where people get notes to join the military. He said, well, that is not good enough. It's not helping professionalism. And it's all that as issue of professionalism that is even leading to the greater talk of saying, look, let's get better, not just equipment, but even manpower from outside to help us fight our battle. That's coming from Professor Zulum, and no one will know this better than him, because he's in the theater of war himself. But saying that, look, we're recording some success in those areas, and warning that Iswap is going to be more dangerous than Boko Haram. I think he's said enough, and it's a good thing that we're zeroing on that story. And I think I saw it in one or two other papers. It's a very, very important story.
Emmanuel, it is of interest that you've raised this, and you've mentioned it twice. You talked about mercenaries earlier, and you were talking about asking for help from outside. But doesn't it indict the current government? Back in 2015, or rather 2018, a group called the Specialized Tasks, Training, Equipment and Protection, led by Eben Barlow, revealed to the Guardian newspaper that the current president, Muhammad Buhari, stopped them from carrying out fighting Boko Haram. These were some mercenaries that were engaged by the previous government. And fast forward to 2022, you're going back to the same people. Well, the Daily Sun newspaper is saying the federal government has uncovered 96 terrorism financiers. And that's where it is. No names. They've been saying this again and again and again. When do we finally get to know who these people are? And still on the first question, isn't it an indictment on the incumbent government?
Well, Professor Zulum was not speaking as if he was indicting the president, and he even had nice words for him, funny enough, like I said. But you're right, those reports do suggest that in the past, those kind of efforts were rebuffed, and now we are back to where we started. But beyond even these reports, and beyond even what Lai Mohammed is saying, is what the general public is saying. There's a general outcry, an outrage in the country that, look, the third plank or so, maybe, or the most important plank of the tripod of President Buhari's administration has not really yielded any kind of serious results. He was practically made president, or voted in, because of the issue of security and the issue of the economy and the issue of corruption. But his critics and a larger number of people believe that a lot has not been done. And Lai Mohammed, trying to save situations again yesterday, said, look, we're identifying people. And like you say, Kenneth, people are asking these questions. Who are they? Where are their names? The AGF saying that their identities will be revealed in the courts. But these are the sort of stories that get the opposition and a whole lot of people worried. The opposition yesterday, firing back, pushing back on what Lai Mohammed was saying that, look, this is even an attempt to lie, and lie badly about some of this situation. It's a rebuke from the opposition, saying that, look, we're not getting the entire truth. Why are you talking about numbers of people and you are not naming them? What's wrong with naming and shaming? What's wrong with showing us faces of people who are involved in this? You keep telling us about people involved. You say you've apprehended them and you're presenting them to court. But then the AGF saying that wait until their day in court so that you know their identity. Nigerians really want to know. And it's not just the small players, but the big names that even the CBN was recently saying that, look, they've uncovered them and all of that. So generally, there's that worry that whether it is in the area of corruption or in the area of security, and security is on now, this government has not done enough and has not done well.
Well, Emmanuel Bello, let's look at some of the international papers. And the Daily Mail has an interesting front page as far as Boris Johnson's closest aides have been cleared out. It says, meltdown in Downing Street. Will the last one to leave please turn out the lights? Is Boris Johnson going to be turning out the lights soon?
Well, certainly he's not going to have those parties anymore, and I don't think he's going to have friends around his parties. But it's actually a troubling situation, and you know, it's the sort of thing that you think you will see elsewhere, and this is the first time you are seeing that kind of a thing happening. So, but we don't know how he's going to survive this. But you know, those close aides of him leaving yesterday and saying that, look, we cannot, in all good conscience, follow you to your grave, whatever that is. It's also, I'm sure, a very tough one for this Prime Minister. Could be that we're seeing the end of the road for him, but some people say that he has a way of surviving, especially with the fact that his party seem to be even reluctant to either replace him or to actually do the needful. But of course, more MPs weighing on it, and even practically thinking of passing votes of no confidence, with some already doing it, some other waiting for the so-called police reports on the matter. But this comes every day. It's like a drip, 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 and we all wonder where this is going. But then you see an adamant Prime Minister talking about his effort in other areas in the economy and what he's doing on the world stage and all that, actually showing his records and saying that for this reason, maybe I shouldn't go yet. But big voices coming and asking him to leave.
Emmanuel, you have about 40 seconds. Let's bring it back home very quickly to the front page of the Nation. 22 days thereabout to the convention or planned convention of the ruling party in Nigeria. And we hear talks about lobby for a change of date, and there's still no venue.
Well, it's like being invited to a party or to a wedding and then there's no venue. I mean, how do you really prepare? So that this is what the APC is faced with. But yesterday, you know, they recorded some successes by swearing in those state congresses. I think 34 out of 36 states. So they firmed their ground on that. But again, even on the date, the president has refused to shift the date. So they are very firm on that. They have a date. They have their congresses, state congresses ratified. What remains for them now is actually a venue. Maybe they are leaving that to the very last minute. But generally, the APC actually touting its successes. Yesterday, they got the deputy minority leader of the PDP to join their party, and then they are getting ready for 26, a date that the president has said is not moving, it's not shifting.
We wait to see what happens. Thank you for your brilliant take this morning, Emmanuel Bello.